Welcome to the Trading Lounge. I'd love to share with you the trades I made today on my journey to 100K, where I try to take this small account to $100,000 as fast as possible as a relatively new, dare I say, rookie day trader. I am looking to try to hit like rookie of the year. I'd have to make some magic happen this year to be able to hit this goal by December. I started last December. I'd love to hit the goal by the December of this year, but the market has cooled off, and I'm not as great of a trader as I thought I would be. So learning a lot, growing. We are green overall on the account. We are green today, $29-ish, $28, right around $28, and I'll show you that here in a sec. But we had some glaring issues this morning with the scanner that I typically use, which is Chartswatcher. Now, last week was flawless. My charts, scanners, flawless all week, and I was green every day last week. Now, actually, I did trade an AH on Friday after I set that new PR. Lost a little bit of money, not much. Lost a little bit of money there, made most of it back today. We'll get into that, but so I ended up not being green every day last week. If I'd have just shut it off, I'd have been good to go. But had some issues with the scanner this morning and the charting software that comes with Chartswatcher, and it was just too much for me. Based on my experience a few weeks ago, that happened, and I ended up trading and losing. So today, I was like, this is probably going to be a no trade day, but then I flipped over to my backup setup, took my time. I was going to walk away for the day. I'm like, let's figure something out, right? So the big lesson I learned here today was like, you need to have a backup system, and it needs to be squared away. By the way, has anyone ever heard the term AJ squared away? Or just AJ? I'm curious. I'm going to show my wife this later. So here's my backup setup. It's not sexy by any means. I mean, this is just, so without this is kind of how I used to run when I started Thinkorswim. And then there'd be a scanner or something over here. You going to do it for me? There we go. Or however that worked. I don't remember exactly how it was set, but this is kind of, what it looked like for me. And I have binding set up in here, so I can trade in this if I need to, if I really, really need to. But I think what I'll probably do is figure out a way to kind of minimize this screen a little bit somehow, so it's out of my way. I'll kind of change the dashboard a little bit up, so that way, my entries are done through Dash Trader here, so I don't really need this window here. And but anyway, this is kind of my backup layout, and I ended up making this trade on right here. I traded CLIK and LINK. LINK is what I traded with this charting system. Now, the charting system at Thinkorswim, not bad, really. I mean, it doesn't have a 10-second chart. The UI is a little archaic, but like it certainly works, and you don't really need 10-second charts. I mean, it's a perfectly great charting platform. And honestly, if you don't need shortcuts or offsets, I actually really prefer how this works. As you can see, like I don't really use the ladder here in Thinkorswim, which is right here. A lot of guys use the ladder. I've configured it to where it doesn't even get in my way, and I just hide it. And so I just use shortcuts if I'm going to buy through here. But I didn't. I bought through Dash Trader. And another thing you might see up here is that I added in, it says margin there. I added money into the SIM account so I could really work within the SIM, and that's what I did this morning. These numbers here in the green here, that's all simulator stuff. That was kind of fun. I'm working on some hotkeys that allow me to change my offset with one button. Just if the price is under $1, it changes the offset, and if it's over $1, it changes the offset. So I was testing it in the sim this morning. I like it. I'll probably test it over the next few days, and then go live with it, and then share that with you guys. So what was happening was I like to run a 10-cent offset. Sure, it's a little extreme. It's just what I like to run. And when you get into penny stocks, a lot of times you can buy a penny stock with a 10-cent offset. But if you go to sell it, a lot of times you'll get an error that says that your price was too far from the current, your limit was set too far from the current price. So there are certain ways around that, but I thought let's just, a buddy of mine who's named Damien sent me a script. We're going to talk a little about Damien more today, but sent me a script, and I punched that into AI and gave it my script and kind of worked on it a little bit, and then I've got this set up where it's one push of a button, one macro now. I'll buy with whatever buying power I set, which is currently I think I have it set to 1,500. If it's under $1, it'll use the lower offset. So if it's over $1, it'll use the larger offset, and we're good to go. I tested it. Seems to be working. We'll see how it goes. I'll maybe test it over a couple more days before 4 a.m. before 7 a.m. when I can normally trade. So anyway, back to this. So this is the charting software I was using. Now, what's missing here is a scanner, right? So now, what's my backup scanner? My backup scanner, tried and true, daytradingstrategies.net. This is part of my lifetime package I bought back in October, but you can pay monthly for this scanner, and you can use free scanners too. I almost went to Zendu, which is a YouTube free scanner, but I'm like, I have this. It's part of my package, and I do like it, so I pulled it up and I traded off it today. So Link, which probably is not on here anymore, if I had to guess. Yeah, it's not anywhere on here now, but it did show up on the scanner. It showed up right here in the Movie Now section, and then it was also right here briefly, and that's why I ended up taking a trade on it. So let's go over that trade. I'll put a link to this scanner. This is a good backup scanner, and I'll put a link to, now the volume criteria on this scanner is set a little higher, so sometimes the alerts might come a little bit later than some of the free scanners. But what I like about that is it's many times it's confirmation. So, and it did work for me today. It's got this beautiful little small cap gauge too that updates live, that tells you, it's its own proprietary algorithm that tells you if the small cap market is hot or not. And then you can change price and flow right here. So it's very flexible. And it worked great for me today as my backup scanner, and it can totally be a primary scanner for people as well. So the trade that I made I might as well stick to the rules since we're on this screen. My rules are low float, so anything under 20 million, definitely under 10, certainly over 5. It has to have some kind of breaking news. Initial volume, I'm just thinking about a trade today that I would really love to have taken. Initial breakout with volume is my first entry. $1 to $8 unless it's very clear that all eyes are on the stock, which happened today a couple times. And then entry is the first candle to make a new high after a pullback, and then no continuation trades right at 7 a.m. And I'm kind of a no continuations trade guy in general, but we're learning, we're growing, we're doing our thing. So let's see if I can remember how this works. So there was a couple stocks that popped up. KIDZ popped up this morning, MWG, a few different stocks JZXN, a few stocks I've traded in the past, and I just wasn't interested in some of these stocks, especially because my tools weren't working for me very well. So I'll pull up KIDZ just because it's already up actually. So Z right here. Then we'll go in here, and I think it's maximize sell. Yeah. So this popped up today, and can I use my drawing tools? Yeah, this is great. And I've traded this stock multiple times, and I think I've made money on it once. So it pops up right up in this zone, and right up in here at like 80, I'll call it 84-ish, this area, I saw the big seller on the ask, which we've been seeing, right? And so I'm like, I'm not even interested. So I took my eyes off it. It dives down, kind of recovers, and I forget what it did the rest of the time, but let's see. It doesn't really matter that much because I wasn't going to really trade this. Let's see if I can remember how to use the tools here. Ooh, how do I... Oh, okay. So that's not really working. Okay, so I have to switch. One sec, guys. It's been a bit since I've used these tools. I think you got to go like this. Yeah. Okay, so let me do this real quick, and let's go back in here, and that'll get me set up for the rest of the day. But so yeah, you can see it kind of had this run up, and then it never really crossed this level, and that's where that big wall was of that big seller on the ask. And so I'm just like, I'm not even going to flirt with this stock. And then the other one was MWG. Yeah, is that right? Oh, maybe not MWG. Must have been something else. Is it up here on the list still? MGW? Because I'm like, no, well, there goes that idea. Can't remember what the stock was. That's fine. The one I did trade today and I made an attempt on, was CLIK. What? CLIK. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. Okay, we're still working the system. So this thing popped up this morning right before I could trade it. So it pops up at 3, we'll call it 7 6:30 in the morning. I'm trying to talk in East Coast time, but really for me it was 3:30 in the morning. Today my brain's all kind of messed up from what happened. I'm just going to stick with whatever comes natural. So this thing pops up at 3:30 in the morning. So technically it's not a continuation trade really, but for the way my mind works, at 4 a.m., which ends up being like right in this zone, when I can start to trade it, to me it becomes more of a continuation trade. Sure, it had breaking news earlier in the day, but I didn't trade that, and like, so I'm not really sure if I'm going to trade this, but I really felt like all eyes were on the stock this morning until another stock hit. Where are you? Here it is. Let me just go back to this so I can move. Okay. And so I traded it. I was trading this right here with small size for the break of VWAP, and it didn't break. Ended up breaking a couple candles later, and at that point I said, you know what, I'm good. Like, I don't think I'm going to trade today because of everything that's going on. And then I worked on getting my backup stuff set up, and then Link, L-I-N-K. Now, here's what I was talking about with kind of volume profiles with the daytradingstrategies.net scanner. Let's make this bigger. I think it's here. Yes. Oh, wait. Oh, it was already big. My bad. All right, let's do this. And we are really struggling here. And then can I move this over? Boy, I'm on the 5-minute chart. I'm on the daily chart. One sec here. This is not going as smoothly as I hoped. I think there's the backup button here. Here it is, right here. So here, let's maximize this cell. And let's just not get too crazy with it, okay? So, I didn't get the alert on this until... Oh, no, actually, this one was okay. It was the other one I wanted to trade, which was WOK. So this one, I just happened to see it up on the scanner and peeked in on it to see where it was at. And looked at the news, saw that it had come up, and then pulled back right here. And then this candle opened right here, and it didn't come over here to make a new high. So this candle was the first candle to make a new high. I went in for a quick little snipe, in, out for like $30. Now, I think all in all, this is a pretty risky trade. But, you know, I'm committed to following the protocol. So in this moment, I'm like, we have this volume, we have the candles. Sorry, we have the green candles here. I've got a pullback here. We've got a candle that tried. We've got another candle, makes a new high. I'm going to make an attempt. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to get out. And it worked, and I made a profit. So happy about that. Now, it dumped right after that, but that is what it is. And then, what was it? It was WOK, and this is a good example of what happens on Trey's scanner, which is totally fine, is on my CW scanner and also my day trade dash scanner, I would have got this alert probably like right in here. And on the CW scanner for sure, it would have came really early. And I think when I first got it on Trey's scanner, it was in this candle right here. And I think a lot of that has to do with volume, and that's totally fine. And so now at this point, I'm like, well, I want to trade this. I wanted to trade it here, but I missed that move. That's fine. And so I'm like, okay, if this candle opens and goes above here, I'll get in. It opens. I don't exactly remember the sequence of events, but it did push above this, but it just didn't really, like, it wasn't with a lot of like green on the tape. Like I did not feel comfortable or confident that it was going to actually continue past this. It didn't, and it just flushed right back down. But this would have been a great trade, like right in that zone. Sure, you've got that little topping wick there, topping tail, but like, I mean, that doesn't bother me in this scenario, in most scenarios actually. And then that's pretty much what I traded. And I did update the data, which is right here, with what happened. So we've been 75 trade days. We've got a win rate of 67%. We're green on the account. We've got a profit of $1,772, which I'm happy about. We successfully came out of a drawdown, and now we're holding, and I'm hoping to make some money this week to get a nice little cushion, because my plan overall, honestly, is to start preparing for June when the PDT rule is lifted. And that's why I'm taking multiple trades a day, because I know, like, it makes more sense on an account of this size, I think, to go all in, all out most times. I think anyway, especially when the market's a little warmer. But like I'm trying to learn getting in and exiting multiple times, because in June that will be a thing for me. And so right now, leading up to June, we got about a month until the change happens. And what I'm trying to do is get practice getting in and out of trades, specifically out of trades. I was very happy with my trade on Click today because I got in, didn't like it, got out, didn't lose much money, small size anyway. But those are kind of the things I'm practicing, getting out sooner, because if I'm going to be going in with more buying power more often, I want to make sure that I'm training myself to get out when the move isn't working. And so we're developing that this month. Then I also, once I get a little bit of a cushion here after this drawdown I just came out of, I get like an extra $500 maybe, or $300 or $500 this week, then the next couple weeks I'll probably increase my size, because the way I would like to do this would be like trading, closer to this max, closer to 5K actually. And I have to kind of train that. So I think the most I've done at a time is like 2,500 or 3,000 or something. There's been a couple trades I've gone all in, but so I'll kind of build that up over time, over the next few weeks leading up to June. So that way, by the time June happens, like maybe I'm not trading with the entire account balance, but maybe I'm comfortable trading half the balance at, maybe it's like 3K a shot. So it's 3K here, 3K there. Hi guys. Hey, I'm just wrapping up. Okay, buddy. I can't see you. I'm just wrapping up. Okay. All right, buddy. You got a spoon? Smack me with a spoon. I'm almost done. Okay, can you give me a minute, bud? I'm almost done, okay? Love you, kiddo. So that's kind of where we're at. I do want to show you something that a trading buddy sent me recently that I'm going to start using. It's not quite ready yet, but it is this this trading log. This is pretty awesome, actually. I'm not going to go through a full review of this, but I would like to be able to use this instead of what you see here. This has been great, but like I'd love to be able to find something that's a little nicer and has more data, and it has this light and dark mode as well. But as you can see, that's what. Hold on a sec, Brooks. Hold on a sec, kiddo. This is what ended up being my loss on Friday after having a little bit of a green day on Friday, because I was testing and, dare I say, overtraded on Friday. But so I'm just trying to like build this in, and it has things you'd love to see. Like it has win rates, and then also has, where is the I'm trying to find performance by day, by week, and trade distribution, performance by hour of day. All the things you'd love to see, and I don't have very much data in here. I only have last week's data in here, and I haven't even really verified if it's accurately in here yet. So I'm going to start playing with this and get some more information in here and be able to kind of track this. But Damien, I just want you to know, man, I really appreciate you. And this is a cool little bit of software. Now, this isn't available to the public. I'm going to be using this, and I know people are going to be asking. So, yeah, it's a great tool that I think I'm going to be able to use moving forward instead of the typical data screen you've been seeing. So, I'll get some more information in here so we can really look and see where some strengths and weaknesses have been. But my data is such a mess right now because I had it in Webull. I started in TOS, moved it all to Webull, moved it back to TOS, did a bunch of like test trades. And like, so it's just been, it's a bit of a mess, but I don't really care as long as the data lines up mostly and the balance is right, and it's okay. So maybe I'll start. Maybe I have some options. It's like I can start it off from like right now and just really keep the data clean now that I have the simulator going, right? So all my test trades just in the simulator. There's nothing outside the ordinary on this account, or I can just upload it all in and kind of start fresh with like, by the way, like, this is what it looks like, because I don't know what that's all going to look like. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope you were green. Tomorrow, I will be on Day Trade Dash because I really need a tool that, last week was great with Chartswatcher, but I had some issues in the previous weeks, and I had an issue this morning, and I missed a couple of really good movers. And I didn't even talk about the stocks that I missed. ODYS I missed. I would have loved to have gotten in on that, but I was too busy trying to figure out what my backup scanning solution was. And, here we are. So tomorrow we'll be on Day Trade Dash. We're going to give Chartswatchers a little bit of a break until they can smooth things out over there a little bit. So that is why I'm not quick to recommend. If I recommended Chartswatcher to you and you moved over to it, because of my recommendation, they got some great things going on over there. And if you love it, great. If you don't like it, my apologies. It's certainly not my intent. But Brooksy, do you want to say? Why don't you say? Have a green day.
Have a green day.
All right. See you guys.